is a HSV Senator. It uses a 6.2 litre V8 and it makes 317 kilowatts of power, so it goes like the clappers. But this one's a bit special. This is an engineering prototype, and right now, believe it or not, I'm running on LP gas. Yep, the same stuff that taxis all over the country use through the week and you cook your sausages on at the weekend. And here's the proof, right in the boot. There it is, the LP gas tank. There's a normal fuel tank under the floor in the normal place because it is still dual fuel, but that is where the sausage gas lives. And there's one other little giveaway inside. And it's this little switch here. Now when I fire it up, it'll light up, and that's the switch that can take me from petrol back to LPG. So those are the bits that you can see. What about the bits that you can't?
We basically have a tank in the vehicle with a pump in it that actually pumps high pressure liquid gas, or liquid propane, into our injection ports through the injectors, which just sit above the petrol injectors, and then return out the system. It's a returning gas system, and they pump through each of the injectors either in parallel or in series, depending on the configuration we end up with. And at the end of the day, we don't think there'll be any difference to drive it between a petrol and an LPG.
One of the really nice things about this car is the way the gas conversion is integrated into the rest of the vehicle. On the production car, the trip computer will give you your gas consumption as well as your fuel consumption. The car automatically starts on petrol and then switches itself to LPG, and it's seamless, you cannot feel a thing. And even the gas filler neck is hidden behind the fuel flap with the petrol filler neck. In fact, if it wasn't for the little red diamonds on the number plate to tell people that it's an LPG car, from outside, you'd never know. A lot of cars in the past have been converted to run on LP gas. For instance, those taxis we were talking about. And in some states, typically Victoria, it's very popular in privately owned passenger cars too. But what makes this different is that it's a high-tech approach to LP gas conversions. In fact, HSV aren't going to do anything low-tech, and they don't want to jeopardise their performance potential. So what they've come up with is an entirely new system that gets around all the old problems.
It's a fairly simple system to engineer. It packages fairly nicely. The complicated issues will be the integration of the system electronically into the vehicle, and also durability in the long run.
Historically, the problems with LP gas have been that it's not as efficient as petrol, so you don't make as much horsepower and you don't go as far on a tank full. Well, because of the high-tech nature of this conversion, that's actually not so true anymore. There are still slight limitations, but really, this is as good as it gets. And in fact, if you look at what people are doing around the world, it's probably the Italians and the Koreans that lead the world in LPG technology. But if this is anything to go by, HSV and Australia is catching up fast. Now, like I said, this is a prototype. There's absolutely no guarantees that HSV will even put this car into production. But if it does, I'd say about the end of this year is when you should start pestering your HSV dealer to sign up for one. Cost? Nobody's saying anything at HSV. They're playing their cards very close to their chest. But this car should cost about half of what a petrol version would cost to run, and that should pay for the conversion in about 12 months, as a rule of thumb, so you work it out. So I guess for me, the question now is not why the hell I'd want a HSV car that runs on gas, it's why wouldn't I?